Are you a leader, manager, entrepreneur, business owner, or knowledge worker? Are you leading people or wondering how to be a better leader in your own life and work? If you are, then you can be experimenting better. Welcome to The Experimental Leader, a podcast that takes a look at the ways leaders are experimenting in their own work. Hosted by Melanie Parrish, we dive into real-life conversations about how people might be using a scientist's mindset and experimenting in their work. Shift your leadership into something that works better. Join us on The Experimental Leader today.
Hello. It's great to be here with you on the Experimental Leader podcast. I'm Melanie Parrish.
Hi, I'm Mel Rutherford.
And we're your co-hosts. And I've been thinking about my leadership today, and really all this week I've been thinking, gosh, I'm kind of tired. I have some super exciting projects I'm working on that are just like taking every second of my free time. And so I haven't been taking the self-care time that I usually take. And it's taking a toll on me. So we have a little bunkie at a camp north of here, and I'm going to go there today. And I've noticed that my family is feeling difficult, but I'm pretty sure I just need a good sleep. So my leadership journey today is to go take care of myself and to walk in the woods and sleep and swim in a pond and do the things that fill me up, because I think I've gone too far in the other direction just because I got so darned excited about what I was doing. But I've burned the candle at both ends and don't have much left in the tank. Wow, that was a lot of metaphors in there, all jumbled up together. What about you, Mel?
One of the things I've been thinking about in my leadership today is how to make task assignments and committee assignments more equitable. And I think the solution to the problem is actually going to be record keeping. So knowing in the past who's served on which committees or taken which tasks, and also projecting into the future, because then you've got a much broader snapshot of what you're doing, and you can quantify it. We know that in sometimes women get asked to do service work more than men. Sometimes people of color get asked to do service work. And so you can, if you get a sort of a little bit broader data snapshot, you can do some analyses and make sure you're not over assigning some people work, and make sure the work assignments are equitable across your group.
That is such a cool idea. And I think that the idea that record keeping is the answer is really interesting. And will you make it transparent?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I love the way you think. That's super cool. I'm also really excited about our guest today. Are you excited about our guest today?
Yes.
Well, our guest today is Sonmez, and she is exciting. She's an intuitive healer and transformational coach. She's a mindfulness trainer. I could use some of that today. And an internationally renowned expert in uncovering and healing past traumas. With 15 years of experience in multinational corporations and a remarkable ability to transform lives, Gul will guide us on a journey of self-discovery, sharing her wisdom on overcoming anxiety, self-doubt, stress, and procrastination. Welcome to the show, Gul.
Welcome.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, as you say. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. And, we're talking about our leadership. What are you thinking about in your leadership right now?
It's a great question, actually. Right now, because, it changed as the life has seasons. I think as the Mother Nature has seasons, we also have our own seasons. I'm somewhere between what you said, actually. I am right now in my leadership balancing really my feminine side, which wants to, be intuitive, meditate, rest, and create, with my masculine side, because it's kind of hard. Where I am is very hot right now. It's kind of hard to get into action. You want to just eat more ice cream and lie on the beach, but at the same time just swim and do nothing. So I'm in a kind of imbalance mood in my leadership. Okay, I need this feminine side of me to kick in and create. So summer is perfect time to create, because you have the sun, you have the sea, for those who can actually make it. But if you have nothing, you have the power of the sun. So Mother Nature is amazing, but at the same time, it's a bit hard. There's more procrastination. So my leadership is just, okay, bring both masculine and feminine into balance.
I love that. And I'm going to tell everyone today when I go off to my camp that I talked to a mindfulness coach who said I should eat more ice cream.
I agree on that one.
I wonder if you can start by telling us what mindfulness is.
Yeah, it's a great question. So actually, it comes out in all my workshops. I do mindfulness training with corporates and with some national teams. And corporate people are a bit more close to the idea, but especially the sport players, the athletes, when I talk about mindfulness, it's a bit dark for them. So for me, mindfulness is actually a set of tools and systems which can help you in order to navigate this busy, hectic, chaotic life, to make it a bit more aligned, especially when the life hits you, when you're tired, when you have anxiety, when you have real issues. You can use mindfulness, because it's a big umbrella, in order to actually navigate life with a bit more ease and peace. So this is what mindfulness is for me. But because there's so much things out on the internet, people are really confused. So I always say mindfulness is not a religion, because most people are confused. Because in mindfulness, you do meditation. One of the tools is a meditation. And meditation is, of course, coming from a bit Buddhist philosophy. So it's not a religion. Okay. It is not a one-time fix. Okay, I did one meditation, I'm awakened. It's a journey. And it's not one method. There are so many different things under mindfulness.
So if meditation is one of the tools, are there other tools you want to talk about?
Yeah, meditation is the one that we use the most, because there are different types of meditations. There's the guided meditation. There are some kind of self-healing journey meditation, which takes 30 to 40 minutes, where you meet your inner child, your ancestors. There is also productivity, or, for example, focus meditations we do with the football players. So it's a big umbrella there. But another thing that I love the most is actually writing, kind of guided journaling. Which with some questions, which helps you to dig deeper. So by the third page, actually, you realize your issue is not this, your issue is somewhere here. So this guided journaling is another technique we use. I think Melanie mentioned today she's going to go for Mother Nature for a walk. This is another thing, actually, sitting in the nature, grounding yourself and letting all this negativity, all this energy forms to shift. It's also proven by science. It's called the greenery effect. Mm-hmm. So the more you're in nature, the more you're close to green, actually, your anxiety, your stress levels goes down. So from top of my mind, I can say this three is some of the techniques. There's also breathing, breath works. So how to use your breath. Those are all the different techniques.
And I'm curious about, as you're helping people make sense of meditation. So I'm not a meditator. Yeah. As a coach, I end up on calls where people take me through guided meditation, and I can handle that. But I'm not. I'm not a meditator, and I've actually kind of come to grips with that, because I'm a swimmer, and when I swim, it's silent, and it's very much like meditation for me. And so I just allowed that. That's okay. That's how I get. And I noticed that if I don't swim, I don't get exercise, and I don't get that meditative time where I'm really silent. When I swim, I count. So it's a really repetitive, and it keeps any thoughts out of my, it keeps me from having, thoughts. The counting sort of removes thoughts. So what do you do with people who aren't good at meditating, just don't like it? How do they?
It's all my clients. The first time they come to work with me, all my clients come to reference, right? So they have an idea of what I do. They trust their friends, but they don't trust me in the beginning. because they find it okay, like how this is gonna work, because usually they're corporate people, they're leaders or they're athletes, right? And so they're not into this world. For them it's a bit too foo-foo. For them, they all been into psychology. I work with a lot of coaches. I was trained in coactive coaching as well, and my coaches there really inspired me to do this as a spiritual coach. They became my clients actually, and they were the ones who said, like, the world is changing, you need to combine these two worlds. But it was very hard for me to explain it. So all my clients come with, I don't know how to meditate. I'm not like you. I don't know these angel things. I'm not sure if it's for me. But I see my friend and I don't believe how he or she does it. I want to try. So am I a good fit? And I tell to all of them, don't worry. Like, you don't need to meditate immediately with 100% concentration. If you say it, you're probably lying. Nobody does that. We're all human. So your mind needs to go to the shopping list, needs to go to the to-do list. If you're not sitting comfortable, your mind goes to, oh my God, back pain, is my neck hurting? We're all the same. But the journey is to take you to somewhere where you start to do the meditation, which is aligned with you, because we're so different. Some people are aligned with mantra meditations, right? It works for them. But for some people, it doesn't make anything. They cannot make the connection. They cannot empty their mind. So for them, sometimes it's the guided meditation, or sometimes it's the silence meditation. There are so many different types of meditation. So I first explained this. There's no one type of meditation. Second, it takes time. It's like anything, any hobby, any activity you do, it takes time. Their first meditation, and after 1 month, is totally different. After first, everybody says, oh, I cannot focus. I always say, when you realize you're somewhere else during the meditation, take a deep breath. Breath actually brings the spirit back to body. So it brings your attention back to your body. Take a deep breath and just continue with the meditation. The win is not to go anywhere. The win is to learn how to come back when your mind is going somewhere else. And it takes some time. And the third one, why would you do meditation, right? Because people come to me, they're either stuck, they're all sick, or they're high achievers, they have a target, they want to achieve something. So I always say, start from what is more important to you. For example, if you are trying to get pregnant, the meditation, of course, you need to do is just to visualize yourself, visualize your body healthy, fertile, you with the kid, and etc. But if you're an athlete, of course, the meditation which will inspire you is to visualize yourself scoring the game and etc., relaxing there, connecting with your teammates. If you're a leader, probably your day is so busy, the meditation unit is just balancing and grounding. So we're all different. I think we should try some meditations for you, Melanie.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to just go. I think that I find the thing that you're talking about, and I find it in different ways. Like, I think mine's all about water.
Yeah, and it's also correct.
It's
also correct. There's no one
it's
way.
a different way of clearing.
Yeah.
I'm curious about your work around trauma.
Yeah.
And what, kind of what your path is to clearing trauma, thinking about trauma, what people can do to address their own traumas.
Yeah, beautiful question. So actually, so what I do right now, I'm a certified coach and etc. I learn different healing modalities, but I'm also very psychic. My niche is being very psychic. So when I tune in them, I can read their trauma. But when I say it immediately, oh, I'm hearing that at 5 years old, this happened to you, it's just like a fortune telling. So people don't own their healing. People don't own their healing journey, because nobody can heal you. If I was able to do it, my sessions would be 1 million euro. I'm not there yet. I don't know how to do it. So they need to heal themselves. So when I start to hear or channel, because the body never lies, first I do the reading and I see where the blocks, then I start to ask, let's say, the voices that I'm talking, whatever you call them, about, okay, I'm seeing here, what is it? Then I start to hear, okay, it's shame. Is it shame? Where is it coming from? Childhood. What age? Let's say 6. Where? In school. Okay, is it teacher? Okay. Then I go back to my client, but they know, they sign my agreement. They know that it's a bit different type of coaching modality, because I hear and I tell them. Then I take them gently to there by asking them questions, because if I tell them immediately, it's just, wow. So when I start, because what I can see or hear is what they're ready. They don't show me what they're not ready. This is why sometimes in our sessions, the biggest trauma, like rape, for example, is a very heavy one. It comes in our 6th session instead of the first one. Why? We don't know. Maybe they need to trust me. We need to be aligned on the journey. So when they're ready, when I see the big trauma, but I'm talking about very big, major life trauma. It's not like my boyfriend broke up with me. The really heavy ones. Then we go to that memory together. And then we breathe into this memory. They observe this memory. They talk to their younger self. They talk to the people who, whatever, they are hurt, they're resentful. So there we do the healing. And we understand the lessons. Yeah, okay, it's happened, but why did it help you? How did it help you? What are you learning from this experience? So you can let it go. Because forgiveness is not understanding and making peace with it, actually. Especially with, it's a nice word in Instagram. Like, oh, let's forgive and let's leave everything. But I can forgive my colleague, maybe who didn't promote me. But it's very hard to forgive someone who raped me, right? They're not the same energies. There's something very different in these two trauma. So we did that type of forgiveness work, is to understanding how this incident make you who you are, how this incident help you to become who you are, and letting it go. Not forgetting it, just letting the effects from you to let them go one by one.
And
I'm curious.
I'm curious about if an organization has experienced a collective trauma.
Yeah.
How do you work with that?
So with organizations, collective trauma, I never work with an organization on collective trauma, but when there is a big major earthquake happened in Turkey this year, it was massive, it was very big, and people were seeing lots of things on the news. Everybody was traumatized, right? Nobody was sleeping at night, everybody was crying all the time, people were really traumatized. And that time I led a couple of group meditation and clearing sessions to tune into the collective and grieving with the collective, accepting there is this reason for the collective, and sending love and light to the people who were lost, sending love and light, and each people asking them questions. What can you do as Gül? What can I do for it? What is my, and everybody has different answers. There's no one right solution. So the only collective work we did there actually about trauma. But I also work with a national team. We're also doing collective meditations together as a team, how they can function on the field, but not on the trauma. It's more on creating and focusing. So trauma, I like to work one-to-one because what they say and the real issue is always different. You need to dig to go to the real issue. And it's very hard to dig with many people.
Do you do this work in person, or do you also work online and virtually?
I just work virtually, and I never come on camera. So this is why I make my makeup today. It's a rare.
You never go on camera.
I never go on camera because I'm very psychic. I did both, and I realized it was one of my collective coaches actually who told me, why don't you just come off? Just tell them who you really are. And I realized because when I'm in a session, when I'm channeling, because my niche is more coming through that area, right? I close my eyes, I talk to voices here, then I talk here, then I try to feel on my body. If they have pain, let's say on the neck, I immediately touch my neck and I start to ask. And then I say, wow, you have neck pain. Oh, how do you know? Or I say, oh, you have something on your knee, you get a surgery. Oh, how do you know? But that time I'm actually bending my knee or I'm listening to this side. And when I shut down completely, when I don't care how you see me, if I'm good on camera, I perform better. It's like when I shut down one sense, the other senses are more in tune. So I help them and serve them better. Unless there's a specific issue where I need to show, because sometimes I'm a non-native speaker, right? Sometimes I cannot remember the name of the organ. like there's a problem in this organ. I was like, what was the name in English? Then I had to show, like it's just here, behind this thing.
That's funny. I have a similar thing that has happened not as many things that's happened for you, but I coached on the phone. I've been a coach. I also have a coactive background.
Amazing.
But I've coached for 23 years, and I coached many years on the phone. It was just I guess it was like 2018 that I went full Zoom. And I always knew my clients were crying because I would feel tears. And it happened yesterday to me, but I was in person, and it was so interesting because they didn't have tears, but I like had tears, and I was like, what's going on? I was in a 2-person coaching a couple. And I said, somebody has, like, you clearly have a lot of emotion because I have tears. And they were like, oh, yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, because yes, this is very emotional for me. But there were no tears that I could see. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, you embody actually.
Yeah, like so I've done that my whole career, and I don't talk about it very much. Well, I guess now I do on a podcast, but now I'm online.
I was very lucky because when I was doing my coaching training, I couldn't shut down the psychic part, right? And at some points, when I don't tell it, I cannot even breathe sometimes. And I had to take it out. I was just telling. And then the head coaches who were giving training, they were so open-minded because they were like, wow, it's true. For example, I was telling to a guy, for example, maybe your father died and you couldn't cry. And he was not saying anything. But after they were giving the feedback session, he was like, my father really died and I never cried in his funeral. I'm so amazed. Like, you keep telling me that thing. I was like, I know, because I see your father behind you. I was trying to come to that point so that you can talk to him and he can go back to light and etc. And the coaches there, although they're leadership coaches, they're working with big companies and etc. They're like, you know what? The world is changing. The world is going to change in 5 years and you will be able to combine. And that time I was working at Amazon. Like, if I say that, I thought they would just tell I'm crazy. So I was hiding that side of me. But then I had thyroid disease. And when I realized why I have thyroid disease, I realized I'm not talking my truth. Then as an action, I started to share my truth. And the more I shared, my levels changed. I don't have thyroid disease now. Sometimes holding our truth is even making us sick.
Interesting. I do think that from this is fairly high level coaching part. But I do think it's interesting to think about who holds the truth in a coaching session. Like, is it you or is it the client? And
it's always the client.
Well, yes. And it's the same with assessments, that like, if they do the assessment, then you are the holder of the assessment and you get to tell them about them. And so the psychic piece is similar to that. And I guess I'm curious how you grapple with when it's best for them to tell you, what they know about themselves, and when you think of what you see. So balance that as a coach.
So this is why I don't take anyone as a client. First, we talk for good 2 hours, because I tell this is not for everyone, because I'm very psychic. If I don't use that side of me, you don't need to pay me. You can work with anyone. You need to hire me for that side of me, because this is my truth. Because when I try to shut it down, at one point, my company, when I was working at a corporate company, they asked me to do coaching for internal. And of course, we cannot say these things there. And I really suffered. I was terrible. The sessions were terrible for me and for them. And I realized there, it's just like, it's a nice journey and it's not my journey. And now I have many people coming to me for example, leadership coaching on their career. Then I refer to them to my clients who are coaches instead of me, because that type of coaching requires an expertise on a different area. So I don't think as coaches or healers, we need to work with everyone. We're not the only solution. It only depends what they want from you. What is their need? And it's not the need of everyone. Some people don't want to go there, and it's okay. It's too direct for them. Or some people they tried everything and they cannot heal, and this issue creates physical problems, because I also started when I had physical problems. I didn't start because I wanted to be a healer. I was sick myself and I didn't want to get surgery. So I was looking for an alternative to help me get out of this issue without any operation. This is how I started. And in the beginning, I didn't believe any of these things. But because I didn't want to get the surgery, I have nothing to lose. I said, okay, let me just try what she says. Because I don't want to take another surgery for a disease which doctors cannot explain me why I have it. I think this is also very important. Not every method is working for everyone. We're all different, and there are so many beautiful techniques out there. You just need to find what is working for you.
Mel, do you have any more questions?
No, I don't.
I don't either, except where can people find you, Gul?
Yeah. So people can find me two ways. One, on social media platforms. I'm only using Instagram. So they can find me, my name, I know it's a bit hard, Gül Sonmez. When they type Gül Sonmez, they find me. But my website is purposefulvibes.com. They can find me there as well, because on my website, I have free meditations, I have podcasts, all these free resources. And they can also join my newsletters where I share meditations, where I share books, where I share healing journeys. The things that I do for myself, because I'm obsessed with self-healing. Whenever I learn a new technique, I share it with the community. They can also find me there.
Thank you so much for being on our show today. It's just been such a pleasure and so interesting
Thank you.
to have you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being so open-minded and having me.
I think it's really interesting. And by the way, I'll just say this. I think that you are dealing really ethically with your psychic piece and your ICF certification. Exactly. So I'll just give you that endorsement, that the way that you've talked about that, I do lots of mentor coaching and things. And so I think you've considered carefully how to do that. And so I'll announce that on my podcast that I think you're doing that quite well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
If you're trying to figure out how you can use strategic intents, operational intents, and tactical intents in your own business, take a look at my book, The Experimental Leader. Be a new kind of boss to cultivate an organization of innovators. You can get a copy of that book for $4.95 at book.experimentalleader.com. I want to get this book in your hands so that you can start having a new relationship with your own leadership.
It was great being here with you today. And I loved how Gul talked about meditation we didn't talk about it on the show, but she has a very experimental mindset about that. Well, just try it. And a month from now, it'll be different. And then you'll try something new. So it's almost as if she's running an ad hoc kata to see how she might how her clients might add meditation to their lives. If you want a copy of our kata card, feel free to email me at melanie@experimentalleader.com. It'll walk you through the kata questions for how to do continuous improvement in your own life. And Gul seems to be doing a really interesting coaching practice. I love innovation in coaching as well as everywhere else. It's been great being here with you today. Go experiment.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of The Experimental Leader. We hope you have found value in today's episode because we're dedicated to helping you become the experimental leader you want to be. To access the show notes or learn more about working with Melanie, visit melanieparish.com. Go experiment.